are about to begin the Elements and Principles project. For this project, I want you to choose one object from the list to the left. You have your choice of turtle, strawberry, football, lamp, spaceship, toucan, which is a type of bird, the one that's on the Fruit Loops box, fish, carrot, basketball, teacup, an open book, or a frog. Whatever you choose, you will use for all of your drawings. There's going to be 7. So if you were to choose turtle, each one of your 7 illustrations will have a turtle in it. You'll be creating 7 illustrations that are going to be different. Each one of those illustrations is going to include one element and one principle. Now, the combination of elements and principles has already been chosen for you. So in one illustration, and I'll use the example of the turtle, you would illustrate a turtle using both line and movement. A second illustration would illustrate the turtle using both shape and pattern. A third illustration would again use the turtle using color and rhythm. The fourth one, turtle again, illustrating value and emphasis. Turtle for the fifth one, illustrating texture and balance. Turtle for the space and contrast, and a 7th turtle illustrating form and unity. Again, you don't have to choose a turtle. You have 12 different things you can choose. As we start the project, the first place that I would start as I start to plan what I would do is I would make 7 small boxes that would have in each one a small sketch of my idea of how I would be using each element and principle. So I would start with a small sketch, and I'm going to use an elephant because that's not on your list, and I would try to quickly illustrate my thoughts on how I would use line and movement. I'd do another small sketch for shape and pattern, color and rhythm, value and emphasis, texture and balance, space and contrast, and lastly, form and unity. And I would use each of these small sketches to just quickly plan out some type of idea for how I want to illustrate it. I would also include in each one of these sketches a short description of how I used that element or that principle in my design. You will need these ideas as you start to make your final drawing. And if you thought through and planned it now, it will make your final drawings much easier. So as we begin a final drawing, you're going to start by making 3" by 3" boxes. And with these 3" by 3" boxes, you're going to have a total of 7, and you're going to make 1 illustration in each. Now, if you're having trouble drawing these boxes, I've also included a document that you can print out that has these boxes already drawn for you, and you can simply draw on that paper. If you don't have access to a printer, simply do the best that you can drawing the boxes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to illustrate first the element of color along with the principle of rhythm. And I've chosen this one because I believe color sometimes is not represented in the same way that I'm thinking, as well as rhythm being a principle that's a little bit harder to understand and illustrate. So when you think about illustrating color, what I want you to think about is, how does color work together? Is there a color scheme you can use? If you watched the videos the other day, you learned about primary colors and secondary colors. And so in this illustration, what I'm going to use is cool colors. So cool colors are blues, greens, and violets. So I'm going to only use cool colors in this illustration? Well, while I'm doing that, you'll notice that I'm using a little bit of value. Even though this one isn't about value, I'm still going to be using some of the other elements sometimes, but I'm focusing on the element of color, so I'm sticking to the cool colors. Now, when it comes to illustrating rhythm, rhythm is about the repetition of the elements, so it's repeating colors or repeating lines throughout your illustration. It could be repeated shapes. So in this case, I have some rhythm going by the repeated lines that are in the water to make it kind of look like the water that the elephant is standing in. I have also repeated lines again, or you'll see them in a moment, where I have the water being sprayed out of the elephant's trunk. So I have repeated lines, I have the repeated colors of the blues, and that's what I'm using to represent the principle of rhythm. Right? So one of the things that you're going to be asked to do in your assessment is to upload each of your drawings. Now, you will not have to upload them all at once. In fact, I would prefer that you upload a little bit every day. So the first day, you should be able to complete about 1.5 drawings. So go ahead and upload 1 of your drawings. And then tomorrow, when you do another 1.5, you should have a total of 3 drawings. Now, you'll notice that when you go to that assessment, it asks you to describe how you illustrated the element. And then it'll have another question asking you how you illustrated the principle. Think back and write a good descriptive sentence about how it's shown in your project. So if you can read this one, it says, I used cool colors, blue and green, to represent the element of color. For rhythm, I repeated the color blue and in the sky, water, and elephant to represent the principle of rhythm. And I also said that I could have talked about the line. So rhythm is any kind of repeated element.